Welcome back. Let's continue this conversation with a leader in conscious business. We're here with Mael Reyes, and I'm really very curious, Mael, what would be one of the most challenging moments for you? And I'm asking about the challenging moments because I would infer that that's where you could have gained a lot of learning. And I'd love to share the learning of a leader with our audience out there. So what can you think of?
Probably I could share my experience when I was hired in this company, the present company where I work. I was hired as a national sales director. So I'm handling all the regional sales director all over the Philippines. I think it's 21 of them. And they are all homegrown in that company.
Right.
And now I'm a newly hired national sales director, their boss. And some of them probably older than me.
Oh, wow.
5 or 6, 7 years older than me. So now my challenge is they've been together for so many years. And suddenly their former leader, I think, already retired. So the company decided to hire from outside, and that was me.
Okay.
Now my challenge now is how do I lead them? They've been in the company for more than 20 years. Some of them older than me. So how will I gain their respect? How will they follow me being an outsider? So that was most challenging time of my leadership when I moved into this company.
So how did you decide to take the first step? What was the first thing that you started to do?
Well, the first thing that I started to do, I have to show them if they are all salesmen, I should be the best salesman.
So leading through example is what I hear you say.
I want to show them I have the moral authority to lead them.
Okay.
So walk the talk, show them how it's being done. So in order for me to gain their respect, invite me in one of your client calls and, acquiring these new corporate clients, and then invite me and let's go to that client.
Together.
Together.
Did that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I enter the room, I show them how it's being done.
All right.
I got the business. Then they tell me, wow, boss, I didn't know that. You can do that pala. See? So I must show them I should be the best salesman in this room.
Okay.
Right? For them to gain their respect.
So the business results came in. Now, how did they react to that? I hear you say admiration, surprise in a way. What else?
Well, of course, there are leaders under me who will always challenge me, challenge my leadership.
In what way?
In how smart am I, how they challenge me in terms of decision making. And I think that's the most important, the most critical is decision making.
Okay.
How do I decide fairly?
Okay.
Because, for example, this one regional sales director is asking for a certain approval request.
Yes.
For a certain favor. If I approve that, then it means I should also be ready to approve all the other requests for the same request.
Right.
From the other sales directors, right? But if I'm not ready to approve it for all the others for the same situation, then I will reject it.
It sets a precedent in a way, right?
Yeah, because
it conditions your
it's
future
a precedent. I think that's how they will gauge me, the way I decide. Did I decide fairly or I have a favorite person, I think that's where they will lose the respect. If you will show them you have a favorite person.
Right.
And you always approve the request. But for me, not.
It has to be as objective as you can and as equitable as you can.
Yes,
so
correct.
how do you ensure being objective? Because I imagine that the decisions, although they may sound like, it's the same case, and so I'll treat everybody equally, but I'm sure that it's complex, right?
You know how you decide? It's not easy to decide certain business.
Right.
Sometimes that's the weakness of sales leaders. How they decide business decisions. How do they arrive in business decisions? I think that's one of the very difficult challenges or situations of a leader. How you decide.
Why is that? What goes in your head when you have a difficult decision?
Because if you don't have really the time and it's very urgent, and you need to decide now, then that will test your leadership. If you're in that situation, how do you decide? Well, for me, it's very easy.
Okay.
Based on the learnings from previous experiences,
Yes.
wisdom, so that it will be easy for you to decide. Always decide based on the best interest of the company. So what is the best interest of the company? It's not what's the best interest for me or for my sales leaders. Is if I decide on this one, is it for the best interest of the company?
It's amazing, Mael, because I find that to be so difficult. Why? Because trying to fend for your own, or even for your own team, right? That that would be, we are wired to do that. And it takes a greater level of consciousness to do exactly what you said, because the reaction would be to follow my own agenda. But the response that Mael chose was to look for the greater good, right? To connect to something that is not your immediate. How do you do that? Do you have a ritual? Do you have a tip?
Choosing between two evils,
Okay.
choose the lesser evil.
Okay. What I'm hearing from my filter, what I'm hearing is you have a moral compass of what it is.
Exactly.
What's the right thing to do?
What's the right thing to do morally and for the company and for what you believe.
Values, your own values.
My own values.
Mael, that is what in conscious business we call integrity.
Integrity.
When you act in coherence with your values. So thank you for the example of a conscious leader, right? And decision making is a critical competency. And you just showed it how to do it in a more conscious way. So I appreciate this conversation.
Thank you very much too.
Thanks for the insights.
Thank you also.
All the best and see you next time.